say to you something like, I'd really like to discuss this with my spouse. This is going to be overcoming an objection. Now, I'm married too. I want to stay married. I like being married. And discussing things with my spouse is a regular thing. However, if I have had a discussion with my spouse that we are shopping for insurance, and my spouse has agreed to that, it's time to switch, it's time to change. I've already collected their driver's license number, and I know that he knows, that we know, that I know that we're all shopping for insurance. If they make the decision to bind with you, then I think their spouse owes them ice cream. So if someone says to me, oh, I need to discuss this with my spouse, my immediate overcome objection kicks in, and I'm going to say something like, Rebecca, I'm married too, and I know that before I do any sort of shopping like this, I always discuss it with my spouse. So if your spouse knows that you are shopping for insurance, they also know how difficult it can be. And if you want to let them know you found your perfect spot, we can be all done. And I'm literally a few minutes from finishing up if you'd like. That usually gives people just enough encouragement to be able to say yes. Just being able to be relatable with them, letting them know, I completely understand. And we can certainly save this in the system, but I do need to warn you about recall time. If this quote is recalled, it can take some time. We have to review the coverages. We'll have to, go through that again. It may not take 45 minutes, but time is money. I want to be respectful of your time. So I like to communicate that too. Happy to save it in the system. I am not going to step on toes if it is imperative that they speak with their spouse, but I know that that conversation already happened. So that is the number one objection that I have found. The other one is let me think about it. So the let me think about it question is, what is it that we have to think about? Right? What is it that we need to process or need to review? So this would be the same on the life insurance side. Let's say you've quoted somebody on life insurance. We're just going to say it's $100 a month for easy numbers. And they need to think about it. But every moment that passes is another opportunity for a disaster to happen. One of the reasons we're such good insurance agents is because we're able to evaluate risk. We're able to see what could happen. And I don't like to be, the bearer of bad news or the nervous Nelly, but that is one of the reasons why insurance pulled me in is evaluating risk. I'm a mama. I was constantly like, children, get away from the edge of the Grand Canyon. True story. So things like that. Just being aware of things that could happen, and especially with life insurance policies, if that's what you're presenting, being able to close that sale or at least get the info in so that we can get the nurse out to the house, getting those steps, okay? But it does start at the beginning of the interaction. If you have already learned that they are only paying $200 a month for their policy package, but yours is $300. How do you handle that? So this is a huge objection in the industry. Let's address it. I would say something like, Rebecca, let's go ahead and review the kinds of coverages you have. I want to make sure, are they matchy-matchy? Do we have death, dismemberment, loss of sight offered in ours, but they don't have it in theirs? What happens if they have medical coverage at $5,000, but I quoted them at $10,000? Maybe I make a little adjustment there, but I don't want to compare apples to apples, right? When I've got apples to steak. If I have a better quality policy, I would say something as simple as, I know, Rebecca, this is a little bit more than what you're paying now. But one thing I would like to address is we have enhanced coverages here, our uninsured matches there, our medical payments are at this coverage level. And not only that, but it means I have the opportunity to be your agent. And Rebecca, I would love to be your agent. It really would be an honor. So just kind of putting that back on you actually, that you would work hard for them is something to note. It's definitely notable that you are not a 1-800 number. Okay. And if you are a 1-800 number, that's okay. It's where I started, but I still said the same thing. Mr. Mrs. Customer, I completely understand. We are, a couple of dollars more a month, but here's what you're getting for that. We have been in business for over 100 years. We have this kind of record, right? Every company has a little bit different, and I have E&O insurance, but I don't want to use it. So, but it really does come down to selling or offering the quality of your company, the quality that you are able to give the policyholder. So really, it's irrelevant. The premium is irrelevant if they are getting the right quality. And I also like to say something like, you get what you pay for. So if you are, talking to a policyholder who is with kind of a rinky-dink company, just a smaller company, maybe they're not really focused on paying their claims, that'll catch up to them. But or you couldn't get roadside in the middle of the night with a company like that. That is something to address. Okay. So if they say it's more expensive, asking that question in the beginning helps you have time to be able to prepare by the time you get to the end. If you have a hunch, it might be a little more expensive. Just something to think about. Okay. A handful of other objections. Okay. I don't know how to cancel my policy. I wouldn't even know how to cancel my policy, says the policyholder. I would break it down into 3 steps. Rebecca, here's what you're going to do. You're going to call company XYZ. You're going to let them know today's your last day and ask them for your undue premium, which is your refund. Any days you already paid for that have not happened yet is undue premium, and they need to give you the money back. So 3-step process. Call the company, let them know today's your last day, ask for your refund. Now, sometimes, and I do warn my policyholders, sometimes these companies that, they'll keep you on the line, they'll ask you 100 questions. Very simply, you can say no, thank you. It's not rude. It's not rude at all. You can just say no, thank you. Well, can we do a discount review? No, thank you. Can we talk about what company you're going to? No, thank you. So they don't know what to do, and there's not much they can say, but it does kind of stop the bleeding, so to speak. Okay. I have also heard, I'm just shopping around. Well, that may have worked when I was in the jewelry business, just shopping around. I don't mind looking at rings and diamonds, just shopping around. I don't have to take them home. But insurance is not one of those things. Insurance is not something that people just shop around for. I wonder if I'm getting the best homeowners coverage. Let's call 10 different companies. It's just not. And especially if they're in escrow. If they're in escrow, it is coming directly out of escrow, which is your mortgage payment, your insurance, your taxes. So traditionally, people don't look at that unless escrow has increased substantially. And that can be for a few different reasons. All right. I don't get paid until Friday is another objection. Well, I would say something like, listen, Rebecca, I don't get paid until Friday either. But if we're saving you some money, or you don't have active insurance, then I would say turn to your cousin, sister, grandmother, whatever. If you don't have active insurance, let's figure out how to get you insurance right now, immediately, today. Now, some companies will say you have to have 6 months prior, so be aware of that. But I don't get paid until Friday. I certainly understand that completely. I am happy to save it in the system. I don't want them pawning grandma's wedding ring to be able to write this policy. So that is something I completely understand. I was a single mama for decades, and we had plenty of top ramen in our lives. So I try not to push that one. There's traditionally a reason. Okay. And then, I have this listed. Speak with my spouse. If they know that their spouse is calling in, traditionally it is an unsaid permission given once you find the right deal. Don't waste your time, right? Okay. As far as objections, you want to know their why. Oftentimes, customers are a little bit shy to make the move. If they've been with a big company or they're grandfathered in, they may not want to make that move. So just be aware of that. And then if they have any reservations on the policy. So as you are presenting the premium, the coverages, make sure that you're asking that question. Mr. and Mrs. Customer, or Beth or Rebecca or whoever it is that you're speaking with, is there anything in particular that we need to address today? Anything that we want to review together? So always ask more questions, actively listen. Life is teamwork. And if you come from the perspective of you're here to help, you are the insurance navigator to be able to navigate them through finding their needs, writing needs-based policies, this will certainly help you be more successful in the industry.